So now we're going to simplify my right-hand Riemann sum so that we can take the limit as n goes to infinity. So I'm going to take my sum, k equals 1 to n, of 28k over n plus 6 times 7 over n. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to factor a 7 over n out front. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break this into two sums. So I can add up first the 28k over n, and then I can add up the 6's. Both of those I'll have in terms. And now a thing to remember is if I add up a constant, 6, n times, I'm going to get 6n. So if I simplify this, I'm going to go ahead and factor out a 28 over n out of my other sum as I go. And then when I add up 6, k going from 1 to n, I get 6n. We'll start a new column. So r sub n is 7 over n. And now I have this 28 over n times k, well, the sum of k from 1 to n. And I remember my formula that's at the top. It tells me if I add up k from 1 to n, that's the same as n times n plus 1 over 2. So I get 28 over n times n plus 1 over 2. I still have my plus 6n. And now some things cancel, so my n's cancel in this first term. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I have 28n plus 1 over 2 plus 6n. I'm going to simplify that 28 over 2 as well. And now I get 7 over n times 14, n plus 14 if I distribute the 14 into the n plus 1. And I still have my plus 6n. And again, I'm going to start a new column. So my right-hand Riemann sum is 7 over n times, well, 14n plus 6n is 20n. I have my plus 14. And now I'm going to distribute my 7 over n. This gives me 140n over n plus 7 times 14, I have to calculate that. That's 98 over n. And this simplifies to 140 plus 98 over n. And that's my right-hand Riemann sum for any arbitrary n. Which means now I can take the limit as n goes to infinity of that to get the integral. So the limit as n goes to infinity of r sub n as n goes to infinity, n gets really large, which means 98 over n gets really small, and I get just 140. Which means my definite integral from 0 to 7 of 4x plus 6 dx is equal to 140. Where to find that, I just took the limit as my number of subdivisions goes to infinity of my right-hand Riemann sum.